The village of Omokpara was always quiet in the mornings, but the day Vicky opened her small restaurant, peace disappeared. She stepped out of her rented room wearing a tight red top that hugged her calves and a pair of short denim shorts that showed off her smooth legs. Her hips swung boldly as she walked toward her grill stand under the big mango tree. The moment she bent to arrange the chicken, the village men began to gather like ants chasing sugar. The aroma rising from her pepper chicken drifted across the road, strong and sweet enough to drag even the laziest man out of his house. Some men claimed they only came to buy food, others said they just wanted fresh air, yet their eyes were glued to her body, her tiny waist. Her full chest, the confident way she flipped the chicken with one hand on her hip. She did not smile too much. She did not talk too much. She only moved with the quiet confidence of a woman who had loved deeply, lost painfully, and rebuilt herself from broken pieces. By midday, men were quarreling over who would sit closest to her. Some offered to sweep her compound. Others volunteered to wash plates. Many ordered chicken they couldn't even afford. Behind their foolish smiles, the village women watched with anger burning in their hearts. They whispered that Vicky was not ordinary. They complained that the smell of her chicken traveled too far, that she dressed too sexy, that their husbands had suddenly become blind. But Vicky was not thinking about them. She was thinking about where she came from, the life she left behind, and the vow she made. Every time she turned the chicken and saw the smoke rising, she remembered the pain she buried deep, pain she refused to let destroy her. Omokpara thought she was just a beautiful new woman with good cooking hands. They didn't know she carried a fire more dangerous than the charcoal burning under her grill. Before she became the mysterious beauty of Omokpara, Vicky was once a simple wife in the town of Isiaeva. She was married to Daniel, a man she loved with her whole soul. She cooked for him, prayed for him, encouraged him when he was broke, and stayed loyal even when he started cheating. The first time he strayed, she cried quietly but forgave him. The second time, she swallowed her pain and told herself marriage was full of challenges. The third time, she knelt beside him and begged him to change. And each time, Daniel returned, apologizing like a small boy caught stealing meat from the pot. She believed him because she loved him too deeply. She wanted her marriage to work. She wanted to be the understanding wife who stood by her man through everything. When he had nothing, Vicky stood for him. When he was mocked by his friends, she defended him. When he saw himself as a failure, she saw a king. Then one day, Daniel got the financial breakthrough he had prayed for. Money started rushing in. Jobs came from left and right. He bought new clothes, new shoes, new phones, and a new attitude. The more money he made, the more he changed. Soon, a lady named Sandra entered his life, a woman with long nails, loud makeup, and a wicked smile. Sandra snatched Daniel with pride, posting pictures of them on social media, walking around town holding his hand as if showing off a new handbag. She mocked Vicky openly, calling her local wife, struggling woman, village beautician. And the painful part. Daniel allowed it. People who once respected Vicky now laughed behind her back. Her world crumbled. Her heart broke. The man she carried like a crown became the sword that cut her. Something inside her snapped. She cried until her tears dried up. She screamed until her voice vanished. And one night, she packed her clothes, locked her door, and walked away forever. Vicky did not travel to her mother's house or her sister's home. She walked straight into the deep forest to meet Nokiaka, an old native doctor feared across villages. She arrived weak, dirty, and trembling, but her eyes were filled with fire. "Give me something," she told him, "something that will make every man feel what I felt. Something that will turn their hearts upside down." The old man looked at her for a long time before nodding. He took her inside a mud house where charms hung from the roof like sleeping bats. He mixed herbs, ground black powder, and burnt strange leaves that filled the air with a bitter smell. Then he told her the final ingredient, her monthly period blood. With a steady hand, Vicky gave it. When the charm was ready, he placed it in her palm and said, "From today, men will follow you like shadows. Their souls will worship you. But be careful, because this power feeds on revenge." With the charm hidden inside her bag, Vicky left her town before sunrise. She changed her number, changed her clothes, changed her entire life. She stopped wearing wrappers. She dressed only in tight short gowns, bomb shorts, body-hugging tops, clothes that celebrated every curve she had once tried to hide for her husband. She no longer believed in love. She no longer cared about marriage. She believed only in her vow to snatch every other woman's husband, the way hers was snatched from her. When she arrived in the peaceful village of Omokpra, she told no one her name at first. She simply found a room, bought a grill, and began her new life. The charm mixed with her sweat, her clothes, her cooking, her movements. And slowly, without even trying, she became a magnet, one no man could resist. Within 2 weeks, Omokpra turned upside down. Men left their wives at home and rushed to Vicky's restaurant like hungry dogs chasing meat. They washed plates. They swept her compound. They carried firewood on their heads. They begged her to let them massage her feet. Her grilled pepper chicken became the talk of neighboring villages. Men traveled from far places just to taste it. But once they tasted it, they tasted her, not her body, but her charm. They fell under her spell like trees falling before a strong wind. Soon, husbands stopped bringing money home. Some even slept in her backyard. Others fought over who would serve her first. Women cried. Children begged their fathers to return home. But the men were gone, body, mind, and soul. When the women tried to fight back, trouble began. The first woman who confronted Vicky was beaten by her own husband. The second woman was sent back to her father's house. The third woman organized boys to destroy Vicky's shop at night, but by morning, those boys were sweeping her compound and calling her queen. Soon, no woman dared challenge her again. Vicky became rich quickly. Men submitted their earnings to her. Some gave her their lands, farms, and goats. Her compound became a shrine for foolish husbands kneeling and begging for her attention. Vicky watched them with a cold heart. She didn't love them. She didn't even like them. They were only tools for the revenge she carried. The more men bowed to her, the more she felt her everything has a limit, even wickedness, even secrets. One night, after serving grilled chicken to a long line of men, Vicky suddenly fell sick. Not ordinary sickness, her body shook as if invisible hands were dragging her into the earth. She saw flashes of red light, heard voices calling her name, and felt her charm burning inside her like hot iron. The men panicked. The village gathered. The women watched from afar, waiting to see what would happen. As she lay on the ground, sweating and trembling, her past came rushing back. She remembered her husband's betrayal, Sandra's insults, the native doctor's warning, all the husbands she destroyed, all the families she scattered. Tears filled her eyes for the first time in months. Then, as if fate wanted her downfall to be complete, Daniel, her former husband, walked into the crowd. He knelt beside her, crying like a child. "Vicky, forgive me," he begged. "Sandra is gone. I chased her away. Please come home." His tears shocked the villagers. Shocked Vicky too. He explained everything. He told them how Vicky once loved him, how she was mocked, how she begged, how he betrayed her. The villagers murmured in disbelief. Wives wept. Husbands hid their faces in shame. For the first time, Omokpra understood who Vicky truly was. But it was too late. The charm inside Vicky had begun to eat her from within. The native doctor's warning repeated in her ears, "This power feeds on revenge." As Daniel held her hand, begging, confessing, regretting, Vicky felt her strength draining away like water from a broken pot. She looked around at the men kneeling before her, the women crying behind them, the children staring in fear. She wanted to speak, to apologize, to undo the pain she caused. But the charm had already taken its final payment. Her heart slowed. Her breath thinned. Her eyes dimmed. And before Daniel could finish saying, "Vicky, please don't leave me," her body went still. A heavy silence fell over the village. The men who worshipped her cried like babies. The women who hated her wiped their faces quietly. Daniel held her body and screamed her name until his voice cracked. In the end, Omokpra learned a painful lesson: there is no gain in revenge, especially revenge on people who did not hurt you. Vicky's story spread across many villages, not as a tale of beauty or power, but as a warning: a wounded heart can burn a whole world, but the fire always returns to consume its owner. And so the woman who once loved too much, suffered too much, and revenged too deeply, became the tale mothers told their daughters about the price of a broken heart that turned into war.
Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, share, and comment. God bless you.